At first glance, it's just a board game. Cards, money, tiny colorful houses, and tokens shaped like a vintage hat or an iron. But behind it all, lies, manipulation, stolen ideas, and of course, millions of dollars. It's a simulation of capitalism, real and ruthless. This is the story of Monopoly. And it didn't begin with the people we now call its creators. For those who've never held the Monopoly box in their hands, imagine a square board. Along its edges are spaces labeled with street names, train stations, and utility companies. Players roll the dice and move their tokens in circles. If the property's unowned, you can buy it. If it belongs to someone else, you pay rent. You might draw a lucky card, or land in jail, or go bankrupt. Jail is a special place. You can end up there in 3 ways: by rolling 3 doubles in a row, drawing the wrong card, or landing on the infamous go-to-jail space. And no, you don't just skip a turn. You're locked away, unable to earn money, stuck until you roll a double or pay your way out, just like in real life. There's also the free parking space. Despite the myths, it offers no rewards, just a quiet, safe place on the board. But in house rules, people often play it differently. They pile fines and fees in the center, and whoever lands on free parking takes the pot. It's not in the official rules, but it makes the game unpredictable. The goal is simple: bankrupt everyone else, be the last tycoon standing. But sometimes, the game goes too far. The longest Monopoly game ever lasted 70 days, 1,680 hours. People lived on that board, forgot everything else, because Monopoly isn't just a game, it's a survival match, with hostile takeovers, bankruptcies, and endless arguments. Some win in an hour, others in 2 months. And just like in life, the honest one doesn't always win. But it all began, not in a corporate boardroom, not in the cozy study of a successful inventor, but in 1903, in a modest American apartment, home to a woman named Elizabeth Magie. Lizzie, as she was called, a woman ahead of her time, a woman whose name today is known only to the most dedicated board game players. Lizzie was a writer, actress, and feminist. She read the economics of Henry George and believed in his single tax theory, that only land should be taxed and everything else was unjust. One day she created a game. Her game had 2 versions, one where everyone wins by cooperating, and another where one player becomes rich and the rest grow poorer. Sounds familiar, right? In 1904, she patented the Landlord's game. Its board featured streets, districts, taxes, and rent. Players could own property, collect rent, and either work toward the common good or greedily snatch up everything for themselves. Her goal wasn't to entertain, it was to educate, to show how wealthy landowners exploit poor tenants. The game spread quickly, especially among intellectuals, educators, and even Quakers, a Christian community who redrew the boards by hand and passed the game from person to person. The rules changed. The game evolved. On America's East Coast, especially in universities, a new monopoly culture was forming. Street names were replaced with real locations from Atlantic City. Cards took on new styles, but Lizzie's name quietly disappeared. She never got her moment. (1930s), the Great Depression. America was in crisis, unemployment, breadlines, hopelessness. And in 1933, a man played a version of Lizzie's game that would change everything. His name was Charles Darrow, an unemployed engineer from Philadelphia. He played the revised version of the Landlord's game at a friend's house and realized this wasn't just a game, it was an opportunity. Darrow began producing his own handmade copies. He painted the boards, glued the pieces, his wife illustrated the cards. He even invented a mascot, the Monopoly Man, that rich old gentleman with the top hat, cane, and monocle. But who is he really? Some believe he's a parody of J.P. Morgan, one of the most powerful bankers in U.S. history. Others insist he's a generic capitalist. But here's where things get weird. Early boxes showed him wearing a monocle. Later versions, no monocle. Some say he never had one at all, a collective false memory, or a calculated detail erased on purpose. There's another strange error. One of the yellow spaces on the board is called Marvin Gardens, but no such place exists. The real name is Marvin Gardens. The typo happened when Darrow copied the Atlantic City streets by hand, and no one noticed, for 60 years. In 1995, Parker Brothers apologized to the residents of Atlantic City, but they never fixed the name. The mistake became a legend, just like the origin of the game, which Darrow never mentioned. One day, Darrow walked into Parker Brothers, the biggest board game company in America. Founded in 1883 by George S. Parker, they had published hundreds of games, from educational to fun. Their motto, bringing joy to every American home, but also bringing profit. At first, they rejected monopoly. Too complex, too messy, they said. But Darrow didn't give up. He started selling his version himself under the name Monopoly, and it exploded. In the depths of the Great Depression, this game made people feel powerful. They could buy, own, send their friends to jail. It became a nationwide craze. So Parker Brothers came back with an offer. In 1935, they bought the rights from Darrow. He became the first millionaire in history made rich by a board game. And Parker Brothers, they crafted a perfect origin story. A poor, unemployed man invents a brilliant game during America's darkest hour. Inspiring, right? Just one problem. It was a lie. When the truth about the Landlord's game surfaced, Parker Brothers panicked. They paid Lizzie Magie $500 for her patent. No royalties, no credit. They offered to publish her original version, but in a tiny run, just to avoid lawsuits. And then they buried it. Lizzie Magie was erased. In parallel, across the Atlantic, another version was born. John Waddington Lenoir, licensed to print Monopoly in the UK in 1935, adapted the game for British players with London street names and unique styling. During World War II, that British connection became astonishingly vital. Intelligence officers at MI9 recruited Monopoly as a tool, not just for play, but for escape. They secretly hollowed out boards to hide silk maps, compasses, files, even real foreign currency beneath the play money. Convoys of special Monopoly sets were shipped to POW camps under Red Cross cover. Marked discreetly, a tiny red dot on the free parking square. These sets helped Allied airmen locate the right games and receive tailored escape kits. Thanks to that ingenuity, it's estimated more than 700 Allied airmen escaped using tools concealed in Monopoly games. And British historians believe as many as 35,000 servicemen may have benefited from these covert boards. After the war, every special board was destroyed. all participants sworn to secrecy. The story remained hidden until decades later, when documents were declassified. A real spy operation, disguised as a board game. Soon, Monopoly conquered the world. In the UK, London streets; in Germany, Berlin; in Japan, Tokyo. In the USSR, it was banned, but still crossed the border in secret. By the 1980s, branded versions exploded. Star Wars, Harry Potter, and more. Some versions are worth tens of thousands of dollars, the most expensive ever. A set made from solid gold, encrusted with sapphires and diamonds, created by jeweler Sidney Mabel. Value around $2 million. Early editions like the Deluxe 1935 sell for tens of thousands at auction. In a world where everything is for sale, even a symbol of anti-capitalism can become a luxury item. By 2025, Hasbro reports that over 500 million Monopoly games have been sold in 114 countries, translated into 47 languages. The franchise has earned over $3 billion in revenue. It's one of the 3 most successful board games in history. In the 1970s, Professor Ralph Anspach created Anti-Monopoly, a game where players fought against corporations to restore fairness. Parker Brothers sued him. The legal battle lasted 10 years, and in the process, the truth came out. Charles Darrow was not the original creator. The court allowed Anspach to continue selling his game, and the world finally heard the name Lizzie Magie. The original 1930s Monopoly rulebook said, "The idea of the game is to become the wealthiest player through buying, renting, and selling property." But behind that sentence is a story of greed and resistance, and the name of a woman whose idea was stolen and nearly forgotten. Today, Monopoly is more than just a game. It's a mirror of capitalism, a tale of a woman whose name they tried to erase, and a truth that eventually broke through the fog of marketing. So the next time you sit at the table, building hotels on Park Place and sending your friends to jail, remember, it all started with one woman who simply wanted to show the world how unfair the market can be, and how sometimes winning has nothing to do with genius and everything to do with who was first to make a move.